need you guys to hear this. This woman, who's a regular postal worker, delivering mail like normal, but behind the scenes, she was stealing millions. Not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, $24 million. And the craziest part, she got away with it for 2 years. Like, how does that even happen? What we're about to watch is how she did it. And trust me, it only gets crazier from here. So lock in.
Miss Shannon, we need to talk to you.
Talk to me about what? Who are you?
The check stolen from this dock.
What Nakadra Shannon did would eventually be described as one of the largest mail theft fraud schemes in North Carolina history. The footage you're about to see captures the exact moment that scheme ended.
We know.
You can't just walk up on me like that. I want my
Turn
supervisor.
around, hands behind your back.
You need to back up right now. I haven't done a damn.
She would never finish that sentence. Within 48 hours, federal prosecutors in the Western District of North Carolina would unseal an indictment naming her, 2 co-conspirators, and a stolen check operation that had moved more than $24 million through a single Charlotte processing facility. 2 years.
Bro, $24 million in 2 years is freaking beyond crazy. $24 million. Bro, why do people have to be so greedy? Why she could have stopped at the $1 million?
One mail dock that was supposed to be among the most secure in the Southeast. By the time investigators finished reconstructing what had happened on her shift, the case had become the largest internal mail theft scheme the Postal Inspection Service had ever charged in the Carolinas. Before we go any further, I want to know something.
Speed this up.
Have you ever mailed a check through your local post office and just trusted that it would arrive? Drop a yes or a no in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. We cover the kind of cases your local news refuses to follow all the way through. Nakadra Shannon was born in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1986. Her mother worked overnight shifts at Carolina's Medical Center as a patient transport aide. Her father drove a route truck for a regional bottling company until a back injury pulled him off the road in 1994. The family lived on the west side of the city, in a brick ranch off West Boulevard, in a neighborhood where the streetlights came on early and most of the adults worked second shift somewhere. She was the middle of 3 children. Her older brother went into the Marines straight out of West Charlotte High School. Her younger sister became a dental hygienist. Nakadra was the quiet one. Teachers described her as polite, hardworking, organized to a fault. She kept her notebooks color-coded. She kept her shoes lined up at the door. In the school yearbook from her junior year, she was voted most likely to never miss a deadline. She graduated in 2004 and enrolled at Central Piedmont Community College, taking general business courses in the evenings while working days at a phone bank for an insurance company. She lasted 2 semesters before the tuition bills caught up with her. She left school in good standing, owing a little over $4,000 in deferred fees, and took a full-time receptionist job at a podiatry practice in Pineville.
Okay.
The pay was $12 an hour.
Couldn't
she held that job.
Couldn't be me. I could not be. I wish I would be touching people's feet for $12. $12 an hour ain't nothing. I'm not finna be touching nobody's feet. I don't even like feet.
For almost 6 years. In 2012, a cousin who worked for the United States Postal Service told her about an opening at the Charlotte Processing and Distribution Center on West Boulevard. Federal benefits, steady hours, union protection. She applied that same week. Her application listed clean references, a clean driving record, a clean credit report, and a single misdemeanor traffic citation from 2009. The background check came back without a flag. She started as a mail handler in early 2013. She made $15.92 an hour. Her training file from that first year described her as, quote, dependable, attentive to procedure, and willing to take additional shifts during peak season. By 2016, she had been promoted to mail processing clerk. By 2019, she was earning just under $55,000 a year before overtime.
That's actually really good money
On the priority and registered mail line.
$55,000 a year.
By every
it's better than what
exactly the kind
regular
of
Americans make.
The
average. I think the average amount that for most Americans, especially lower class, it's got to be like $25,000 a year. And she was making double that. I'm sure she had a comfortable job, and she just had to go mess it up. Got greedy. She kept seeing all that money, seeing all the different things she saw. Of course, you got to be able to resist.
On 11 years of service, no disciplinary actions, no customer complaints, a perfect attendance ribbon framed in the break room, 2 performance bonuses, a handwritten thank you note from the regional postmaster after she flagged a misrouted treasury envelope during the 2018 holiday rush.
That's crazy.
She bought a small townhouse in the Steel Creek area in 2017. She drove a used Honda Accord. She paid her cable bill on time. She sent her mother flowers on Mother's Day. She was 35 years old in early 2021, and the people who worked alongside her on the dock would later tell investigators the same thing, almost word for word. They would say they trusted her with everything. The Charlotte Processing and Distribution Center on West Boulevard is one of the largest mail facilities in the southeastern United States. It runs 3 tours around the clock, employs more than 900 people on a typical week, and processes roughly 4.5 million pieces of mail every 24 hours. Letters, flats, parcels, and on a separate, restricted dock at the back of the building, registered and high-value financial mail. Registered mail is the most secure category the Postal Service offers. It is tracked piece by piece. It is signed for at every transfer point. It travels in locked containers on a dedicated line, handled only by clerks who hold a specific registered mail clearance. Banks use it. Insurance companies use it. Mortgage servicers use it. When a closing attorney sends an escrow check across state lines, when a treasury bond is mailed back to its custodian, when a corporate payroll provider delivers a bundle of replacement checks to a regional employer, the envelope that carries that paper rides registered. The dock at the Charlotte facility processed somewhere between $8 and $12 million in negotiable instruments on an average overnight shift.
$8 to
During
$12
tax
million
season, the number
every
sometimes doubled.
night? That is a lot of money. $8 million to $12 million in parcels every day. It says sometimes it's double. That is crazy. The wrong person for the job, guys.
The clerks who worked that line were supposed to verify each piece against a manifest, scan it into the chain of custody, and place it directly into a sealed cross-dock cart. The vulnerability was simple. Manifest scanning was self-reported. The clerks scanned the pieces themselves.
Okay.
The cameras on the registered dock had been installed in 2009 and had not been updated
Probably
since.
outdated, yep.
4 of the 7 angles had been logged as non-functional in the 2020 facilities audit. The audit report was filed and forwarded to Regional. Regional forwarded it to Headquarters. Headquarters opened a work order. The work order sat in a queue for 18 months.
That is crazy.
During those 18 months, 3 employees who knew exactly which cameras did not work were assigned to the same overnight tour. The first envelope she pulled, according to the timeline investigators eventually built, came across her station on the night of March 14th, 2021.
Okay.
It was a registered piece from a payroll processor in Atlanta, addressed to a healthcare staffing company in Mooresville. Inside were 4 replacement business checks, totaling $87,000.
How would you even know that, though? How would you know that
The
from
envelope
looking
had
at
been
the...
flagged for special handling because the original checks had been reported lost in the mail 2 weeks earlier. She did not place the envelope in the cross-dock cart. She placed it in the front pocket of her postal-issued reflective vest. At the end of her shift, she walked out the employee exit, swiped her badge, drove home, and put the envelope on her kitchen counter. She did not open it for 2 days. When she finally did, she photographed each check on her personal cell phone and sent the images to a phone number saved in her contacts.
Dumb as hell. First of all, why is she taking the checks to her house? And she gonna put it on the table, take pictures of it with her phone. Not acting like iCloud don't exist. Lord help her. Take pictures with her phone, so it's in her iCloud. Then after that, she send it to a contact that's in her phone. Bruh.
Under the initials DC. The reply came back 19 minutes later. Bring them to the spot tomorrow. The spot was a 3-bedroom rental house on Tuckasegee Road, 6 miles from the processing center. The house was leased in the name of Donald Gardner, a 38-year-old Charlotte native with a prior conviction for check fraud out of Mecklenburg County in 2014. Inside the house, a small operation had been set up in a back bedroom. A laptop, a photo printer, a check-writing software package, a box of blank security paper purchased online from a wholesale stationery supplier in Texas. Desiree Carter was the 3rd member. She was 49, a longtime acquaintance of Gardner, and had been working as a customer service clerk at the same Charlotte facility since 2015.
Okay.
Carter's role was internal. She watched the dispatch logs. She knew which envelopes had not yet been reported missing. She knew when audits were scheduled and when they were not. She fed that information back to Shannon and Gardner through a group text on a burner Android.
Dumb as hell.
The pattern they fell into was disciplined. Shannon pulled envelopes only from her own assigned bin.
Dumb as
Never
hell.
from Carter's. Never more than 3 pieces in a single shift.
Why would she pull
targeted
from her
business to
own
business
bin?
mail,
She already
not
know that
consumer mail,
it's gonna come
because
back to
business
it
checks
being
were
her.
larger,
Is she
less
slow?
likely to be reported missing immediately, and far less likely to trigger a federal complaint within the first 48 hours. She avoided anything addressed to a federal agency. She avoided anything from a court. By the end of 2021, the operation had moved approximately $3.2 million in
Dumb
stolen
and smart at the
instruments.
same time.
By the end of 2022, the running total had crossed 16 million. By the spring of 2023, it was approaching 24.
That is crazy. And how the heck can that go on for so long and they not know? $24 million missing. And they don't know, oh my, for years? How does that make sense?
The money came back to her in cash. Gardner handled the deposits and withdrawals through a rotating set of accounts opened in the names of straw account holders, mostly elderly relatives, and one childhood friend, who later told investigators she had no idea what she was signing.
Smart.
Shannon's cut was 30%. She kept it in a fireproof safe in the back of her bedroom closet. She did not put any of it into her checking account.
Smart.
She did not buy a new car.
Bro, she's smart as hell. I called her dumb earlier, but she's smart. She actually is smart. She never put that money in an account. She kept it in a safe in her closet. She never bought a new car.
She did not move out of the townhouse.
She never moved out.
She did not change her routine in any way her
That's
coworkers would later be
crazy.
able to point to. She kept showing up to work on time. She kept hitting her processing quotas. She
Wow.
kept taking the additional shifts during peak season. And every other Tuesday, she pulled 3 more envelopes off the registered line and walked them out in the pocket of her vest. The unraveling did not begin at the Charlotte facility. It began in a corporate fraud unit at Truist Bank, 400 miles away. In April of 2023, a fraud analyst at the bank's Richmond Operations Center flagged an unusual deposit pattern. A series of business checks, all drawn on different corporate accounts, all dated within a 3-week window, had cleared through the same small cluster of personal checking accounts in Charlotte. The dollar amounts were not small. The endorsements were inconsistent. 2 of the checks had been reported as never received by the intended payee. The analyst escalated the file to the bank's
So
financial
she
crimes
doing this
liaison.
for 3 years.
The liaison contacted the United States Postal Inspection Service. A senior inspector named Howard Presley, working out of the Charlotte field office, opened a case file on April 11, 2023.
Okay.
Presley pulled the registered mail manifests from the West Boulevard facility for the previous 12 months. He pulled the badge swipe logs. He pulled the camera footage that did exist. He matched the missing pieces against the deposit pattern. The picture came together in 8 days. On April 19th, postal inspectors installed 3 covert cameras inside the registered dock at the Charlotte Processing Center. The cameras were positioned to cover exactly the angles that the official cameras did not. None of the floor employees were notified. For 3 weeks, the inspectors watched.
So they got her ass.
They watched the same clerk pull the same kinds of envelopes off the same line on the same nights of the week. They watched her tuck them into her vest. They watched her walk past the badge scanner and out the door. They cross-referenced every envelope she touched against the bank's flagged deposits. The matches were perfect. On May 9th, a controlled bait registered envelope was inserted into the line. The envelope contained 4 sequentially numbered tracking checks, designed to surface immediately on any deposit attempt. The manifest reflected $92,000
Oh my
in face
gosh.
value. The envelope was scanned in. It was never scanned out.
92,000
hours later,
dollars.
3 of the 4 tracking checks were deposited through a teller window at a credit union branch in West Charlotte by a woman who later identified herself as the older sister of Donald Gardner. She told investigators her brother had asked her to do it as a favor. He had told her the checks were severance from a contracting job. Quick break. I want you to think about something. 3 people pulled $24 million out of a federal building over 2 years, and not one supervisor caught it. Tell me in the comments who you think dropped the ball harder.
I'm gonna let you know right now. Over 2 years, she stole $24 million, allegedly. Well, not allegedly, because it got proven. And she got away with it for 2 years. It's most definitely it's the bank's fault, and it most definitely is the post office service fault. The postal company's fault. How the hell you not know that somebody's stealing $24 million, knowing y'all care so much about y'all precious money? How do you not know that that's missing? Unless she paid somebody on the side or something. She probably paid somebody on the side to help her get through it, to help her the shit not get flagged, so that she's able to get away with it longer. Cause ain't no way in hell. She stayed in North Carolina. She did this in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure in the little town that I stay in, nobody's ever heard of it. But I know for a fact that if I go do that right now, it's gonna get flagged in probably the first day or 2. How did she get away with that for 2 years? That don't even make
Postal Service
sense.
Or the banks. And if you're new here,
Somebody
hit
got
subscribe.
paid. Somebody got
The
paid on the
reckoning in this
side.
case is not what you'd expect. The arrest team moved on the morning of May 11th, 2023. 3 locations. Coordinated entry. Postal inspectors working alongside the FBI's Charlotte field office and Mecklenburg County Sheriff's deputies. The Tuckasegee Roadhouse went first. Agents recovered the laptop, the photo printer, the check-writing software, and roughly 11,000 pieces of correspondence, paperwork, and partially altered checks stuffed into trash bags in the garage.
Wow,
They
dumb.
recovered a spiral notebook in which Gardner had handwritten the date,
evidence.
dollar amount, and split percentage for every transaction the operation
The
had run
evidence.
since November of 2021.
What the hell?
The notebook had 273 entries. Shannon's townhouse was searched 90 minutes later. Inspectors recovered the fireproof safe from her bedroom closet.
How much was in it?
Inside, they found $73,000 in banded cash.
That's
a stack
crazy.
of business envelopes addressed to companies she had no relationship with, and her
Wow.
personal cell phone. The phone was unlocked using a warrant-authorized facial recognition unlock at the scene. On it, agents found the entire group text history. The texts were the smoking gun.
Bro, what the in some ways she's dumb as hell, in some ways she's smart. What would make her want to keep, first of all, yeah, she was smart maybe by keeping the money in the safe and not all of the money. But she dumb as hell for keeping the text messages, the phone that she committed the crimes on. All of the messages, she got all of the messages still there. What? So she can use later as blackmail or something? Like, why would she keep it? That doesn't even make sense. Why would she keep the text messages?
Hundreds of messages dating back to early 2021, in which all three conspirators discussed envelopes by route number, dollar amount, and intended recipient.
Bro.
Carter, May 6th, 2023, 11:47 p.m. Audit pushed to next month. Doc is
Bro,
clean
help
tonight.
her,
Pull what
please.
you
Somebody
can.
please help her.
Shannon, May 7th,
She need help. She needs some
2023,
milk.
4:12 a.m. Got 3. 1 looks fat. Gardner, May 7th, 2023, 4:14 a.m. Bring it straight here. Don't go home first. Shannon, March 26th, 2023, 2:39 a.m. I'm not touching anything from a federal agency. We agreed on that. Gardner, March 22nd, 2023, 2:40 a.m. Right, my bad. Pull the others. There were also videos. Shannon had filmed herself counting cash on multiple occasions,
Why?
fanning $100 bills out across her kitchen table. In one clip,
At
dated
the end
November
of the day.
2022, she could be heard laughing softly and saying, quote, "This is the easiest job I've ever had."
Lord,
Investigators
bro.
eventually identified
At the end of the day, a ninja gonna be a ninja. And she recorded herself with the money on the table, fanning it out like she doing the damn money sleeve. Why she doing that? Taking pictures of it, saved to the phone, got all the messages. But she was like, how did she do that dumbass shit? But she was smart by not ever buying a new car, not ever buying a new house, staying in the same place, eating the same thing, never spending money. But did that, recorded it?
147 separate victim entities, including small businesses, payroll processors, 3 regional credit unions, 2 municipal governments, and a hospice in Hickory that lost a $60,000 reimbursement check intended to cover end-of-life patient care.
That ain't even right. That's so
The break
mean,
room
bro.
at the
That's so
Charlotte
wrong.
Processing and Distribution
That's
Center
wrong.
is on the second floor at the north end of the
It's
building.
one thing to
It has
just take
fluorescent
from
lighting,
people, but
6 round laminate tables, 2
people in
vending machines,
hospice, come
and
on,
a
bro.
wall-mounted television permanently set to a local news channel.
wow.
At 7 minutes past 5 o'clock on the morning of May 11th, Nikedra Shannon walked into that break room with a styrofoam cup of coffee and sat down at the table closest to the window. She had finished her shift 20 minutes earlier. She was waiting for her supervisor to sign off on her time card. 2 postal inspectors in plain clothes entered through the south door. A third stayed in the hallway. The lead inspector approached her table. "Miss Shannon, we need to talk to you. Talk to me about who are you? The check
Instantly
stolen from this
defensive.
dock, we know.
Defensive for no
You
reason.
can't just walk up on me like that. I want
Well,
my
for a
supervisor.
reason. We know the
Turn
reason.
around, hands behind your back. You need to back up right now. I haven't done a damn thing." She was placed in handcuffs at 5:12 a.m. She did not resist physically. She did not cry.
Why would you?
She did not say another word as
You
she
got
was walked
$24
through the
million.
loading dock and out to the inspector's vehicle. The other clerks on her tour watched her leave. Nobody spoke. The supervisor, who had been about to sign her time card later, told investigators that he had assumed there had been a mistake. In the back of the vehicle, after she was read her
He the
rights,
problem. He part of the
Shannon
problem.
stared straight ahead and said one.
The guy that said he assumed that it was a mistake, the manager or whatever, he's part of the problem. He the one that didn't even notice any of this shit going on. Obviously, he's one of the paid ones, allegedly. He might be one of the paid ones. He said he think it's a mistake. 2 years this happened. Obviously, he vouching for her or he can't count. He can't add. But you have machines and calculators and shit that do that for you. So I don't know. Obviously, there's something going on. I think it's something deeper than that going on. He's talking about some, oh, she's really good. It just has to be a mistake.
sentence. "I want a lawyer." She did not speak to investigators again. The federal indictment was unsealed on May 23, 2023. Nikedra Shannon, Desiree Carter, and Donald Gardner were each charged with conspiracy to commit financial institution fraud, theft of government property, and aggravated identity theft. The combined face value of the stolen instruments charged in the indictment was $24,187,000.
Oh my gosh.
Shannon's defense attorney, a Charlotte
That
criminal
is a
defense lawyer
crazy
named
amount
Reginald
in 2
Ash,
years.
filed a series of suppression motions over the summer of 2023. He challenged the warrant authorizing the covert cameras inside the federal facility. He challenged the warrant authorizing the search of her townhouse. He challenged the facial recognition unlock of her cell phone. Every motion was denied by the trial judge. In November of 2023, Shannon entered into a written plea agreement with the United States Attorney's Office for the Western District of North Carolina.
For what?
She pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit financial
Look at
institution
the poor
fraud
little dog.
and 1 count of theft of government
Poor
property.
dog.
The aggravated identity theft count was dismissed in exchange for her cooperation against 2 additional individuals not named in the original indictment.
I bet.
Sentencing was held on March 7th, 2024,
Okay,
in the Charles
last year.
R. Jonas Federal Building in
I
downtown
mean, 2 years
Charlotte.
ago.
The hospice administrator from Hickory traveled to read a victim impact statement.
Yeah.
She spoke for 4 minutes. She said, quote, "The check you took was money our families had given us
Yeah,
in
that's
memory of
horrible.
people they had buried.
That's
We
sad.
had to delay hiring a grief counselor for 9 months.
That's crazy.
There are families we never reached."
That's not right.
The presiding judge addressed Shannon directly before pronouncing sentence. He said, quote, "You were not stealing from a faceless institution.
Right. You
You were
stealing
stealing
from
from
people.
churches, from small businesses, from a hospice.
Hospice.
You held a
That's
position
so
of trust inside a
crazy.
federal agency, and you used that trust as a weapon for 2 years.
2 years.
The court has no choice but to treat that as the aggravating factor that it is." Shannon was sentenced to 60 months in federal prison.
She stole $24 million. Her and 3 other people. And she only got 60 months in jail. 60 months. And she stole $24 million. People go to jail for less and get longer time.
And 2 years of supervised release. She was ordered to pay $113,000
Oh my
in joint
gosh.
and several restitution alongside her co-conspirators. Carter and Gardner were each sentenced to 54 months.
Did they say
All
100
three were remanded immediately.
117,000?
Shannon is currently incarcerated at the Federal Correctional Institution
She'll
at
be out
Aliceville,
soon. She'll
Alabama,
be out soon.
a low-security facility for female inmates. Her projected release date is in 2028.
2028? It's
The townhouse on Steel Creek
2026.
was sold
She
at a
getting out
federal
in
asset
2
auction
years.
in late 2024. Her name has been permanently flagged in the Postal Service's prohibited rehire
Who
database.
cares? Who cares?
The cameras on the registered dock at the Charlotte facility were finally upgraded in July of 2024.
Oh well, they so fucking slow. Why does that even matter? She don't give a freak about working at that job anymore. She got 20, at least she got 30% of $24 million. What is 30% of $24 million? Shit, I don't know, but it's in the millions. She don't need to go back to the Postal Service. She don't ever need to work again. She good. She went to jail. She going to jail for 60 months, 5 years. 5 years, and she only has to pay $100,000 back in restitution. So all of that other money is literally hers, and whoever else took it, because they didn't say anything about seizing the money. They didn't seize it. They didn't take anything. That is so freaking crazy, and she got away with it. I can't say nothing because she did what she did, and they didn't do nothing about it. So it ain't on her if they do their job. But I hope you guys like the video. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. And hit that bell so you can know when we drop new videos. Also suggest different videos that you want me to react to. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great night. Bye.